So, what are we doing here? What are you doing?
Well, this is the pastor. This tree gives the energy of a pastor to me, physically because of all the rocks in the background and it being the center of this location. And I come here every morning, meditate, give thanks, and I just wanted to give some offerings to it because, like it's a church, and when you go to church, you give tithes and offerings or whatever. And I felt like this tree deserves some offering.
What are you offering?
Fruits, vegetables that I eat, things that have good energy that the tree can absorb and play with.
Wow. And the tree is thankful?
Oh yes, very thankful. It's thankful because I'm thankful.
So, what are you doing in Peru?
I am in Peru to preserve its sacred energy and to also receive the sacred energy to share with the rest of the earth one day when I leave here.
And what do you mean by sacred energy?
The sacred energy? Well, Peru is located in one of the most important ley lines, the magnetic grid on this earth. A lot of things grow out of it. It really is the promised land. And this sacred energy is what attracted me here, unconsciously. It was all source's plan.
And what was the decision to come here? What happened? Who were you before your spiritual path or your awakening?
Yeah, we'll call it the path. So the most recent turn was, I guess, 2016 when I came back to America from Africa as like a Peace Corps volunteer. I was working in a hospital for a little bit over a year. And I started teaching. I was a third grade math teacher. When I came back to America, I didn't like adults and grown people. And I only accepted working for children because at that time, they were more pure to me than adults were. But we're all pure. So I did that to kind of just accept some kind of responsibility to pay off school debt, fix my relationships with family members and friends that I left behind when I went to Africa. And in the course of doing that, I discovered more of myself. And I was able to hear myself better through others. A long time when I was growing up, I refused any kind of interaction with others, and that limited me. So as soon as I started accepting all of the energies that manifest in people and just my environment, I got led here to Peru. Ayahuasca was the original lighthouse attraction, and I read about that, and I was like, yeah, this is something I would really want to do. And understanding that I haven't always done the things I really wanted to do, when I made that decision to do what I wanted to do, what my heart was telling me that I would enjoy, I got led here to Peru.
And how has it been unfolding for you?
Here in Peru?
Yeah, how has your journey been in Peru? Like when you arrived, what happened?
Oh, it's been magical. I've been on so I kind of felt an energy pushing me forward to just be more of myself and to continue following my heart. It was the summer of 2019 when I just kept getting messages that the reason why I'm not enjoying life as much as I could is because I had a lot of burden on my heart. And there are these ancient messages like, your heart must be light as a feather from the Egyptians or the Hindu faith or the Krishnas. Clean your heart with the Hare Krishna mantra. So it's always about your heart. And that message of getting your heart clean is something that I embrace and I had to accomplish before December 20th, 2019, because I predicted that there's this ship of energy coming. And in order for me to get on it and receive all the benefits that are here in this next year, 2020, I had to have my heart as light as a feather. So I did that by repairing relationships, following my heart and doing what I wanted to do, and just living in love. So once I got here to Peru, it was like, here's your reward.
Yeah.
You're on the cruise now. Just enjoy and express yourself. And that's what I've been doing more and more each day that I've been here. Every experience has been an opportunity for me to discover more of myself.
And what has been your like most profound lesson your like most profound insight you had? Because you've been in Peru how many times? How long time? How long?
Well, I've been in Peru since January 10th. No, actually January 12th. And right now it's September. It's almost September 12th, at the end of this week. So what's that, 9 months?
Yeah.
I'm born.
Yeah. So what was like? Because what was the decision like? What made you leave the United States? Like what was like where you said like okay now I go.
Oh.
Like what mindset were you in? What situation were you in?
Just recognizing that there are more opportunities for me to grow outside. Well, when you travel, you get out of your comfort zone and you adapt to cultures, you learn new languages, you meet new people, and those are like very momentous experiences towards self-discovery for me, opposed to being in America where I'm familiar with or doing the same thing every day. I had to gain new experiences. I had to overcome that discomfort of unfamiliarity. Yeah.
And so you first went to the jungle?
Yes, I went to the jungle to work with a Shipibo family that has a culture or tradition of working with plant medicine, specifically ayahuasca. And I was there for 8 weeks.
How did you find them? Like, how did you choose that particular family?
So I used to watch these videos by this lady on YouTube who would often speak of different timelines, how history has been concealed from us, the true history, and we just have the history of certain people that have kind of just been dictating societies. And I really respected her perspectives and her opinions and the research she did. And in one video, she mentioned that a lot of her insights came from ayahuasca, and I was like, that's cool. And I kind of have some. I had resistance to just going to do ayahuasca because somebody else was doing it, because I was always like that, just being a rebel. But eventually, like a year after hearing that video, I was like, no, I don't need to have resistance. It doesn't matter if somebody else is doing it. What matters is that I want to do it.
Mm.
And she had mentioned the Ayahuasca Foundation, which is ran by Carlos Tanner, an American, and the Shipibo maestro that I worked with. And I just decided to go there. It was like a clue on the path. Anything that catches my attention is something that I need to embrace. And so I did that.
And you followed your gut feeling, and how was that? How was your teaching, or how was your experience with it?
In the jungle?
Yeah, and also with ayahuasca.
Oh, okay. In the jungle, it's very comfortable. I love being around that culture. I feel like I have some past relationships with the Shipibos. And even in this life, in this physical incarnation, I feel like I have to reunite my blood with their blood for some reason. Don't know when that's going to happen, but yeah, just pure love. I feel like they accept me as family, and I accept them as family. We went there as a group. There's like 12 of us who joined this little facilitation course to become a curandero and know how to serve ayahuasca. And a lot of people were just focused on the plants, but one of my priorities was also just giving my love to the people that was sharing that culture with me. So that was one of my priorities. The second priority was learning Spanish, because I felt like I kind of had the intuition that I'd be in Peru for a while and I need to know Spanish. So I was studying Spanish. And the plant relationship just came naturally. I've always said since I was like 8 years old, I used to always talk to trees, go in them, sleep in them. Trees are my best friends when I was growing up. And when I was a teacher, I tell my children I was a tree in a past life. And they'd be like, for real? I'm like, yeah. So the plant relationship was real easy. And because of the way that I lived my life, the work that I did before I came to Peru, coming into ayahuasca is real easy for me. It's a very tumultuous process of getting getting familiar with the medicine, what it puts you through, what it brings out, what it reveals. But everything just came naturally for me because I made my heart light as a feather. I live from love, and because I live from love, the plants love me, and it was just always a positive experience.
And what would you say, like, what was your deepest teaching? I mean, you said some of it now, but like, what was your deepest teaching? What transformed you before and after the profound work with ayahuasca?
Uh huh. So before ayahuasca,
Yeah, like, if you would say, well, after ayahuasca, this is what I learned, or what are also the differences, what you thought before about who you were, what the universe is, what life is about, and what has been a revelation in that working with the plant and during that facilitation course, or your work with medicine in general.
so before that, I just want to say I had some major deja vu. I had a dream of us having an interview 2 months ago when we were at Asangate.
Okay.
But yeah, before ayahuasca, like I said, I was summoned to do a lot of self work before that date, December 20th, 2019, in order to get on the energetic cruise ship that was coming, which is 2020. I also got into numerology a lot that summer, and the numbers led me here as well. And going back, heart is light as a feather. We collect a lot of burdens in life when we don't pay attention to the way we interact with others, or if we just ignore certain things in our life. So growing up, I ignored a lot. I sheltered myself and I didn't express myself. So the work that I had to do before coming into Peru, getting on that cruise ship of energy, is go back, communicate with people, express my authentic self without fear of how they perceived it, to just give them an honest chance to experience the reality, which is everybody expressing themselves authentically. That was the biggest lesson for me. Cultivating my love for others, because for so long I often like resented others for misunderstanding me or my perception of their misunderstanding. So just starting off, it was really just my love cultivation, cultivating the love, removing the burden, removing all the trash that I collected through my years up until that point, so that love could blossom. I love this analogy. It's like when you go through a forest, if you're not paying attention, you're gonna collect a lot of leaves, twigs, all kinds of stuff is gonna be on your body. And when you come out into the free field, where you can just run and play, you're gonna be weighed down by everything that you didn't pay attention to in the forest. So that's kind of what I was doing up in my life until the point where I knew I was coming to Peru, and I had to clean myself. I had to get rid of these things. And it's not just like throwing it off and not paying attention. I had to look at it, recognize what it is, explain or apologize that I didn't pay attention. I wasn't being authentic, and now I'm gonna put you back where you belong, and that's an authentic or truthful perspective of what I am, which that person could only view if I'm living authentically. So those are the biggest lessons before coming to Peru. And when I started working with the medicine, I just got a confirmation of that, which is really cool because it was like everything that I did is becoming confirmed because I did that stuff intuitionally. But now I'm being confirmed by my experiences with the medicine because I've often hear that like my ayahuasca is hard work. A lot of stuff comes out. So when I took it like the first or second time, and we took it like 22 times in the jungle at least, there was one experience in the first or second one where it's like cockroaches crawling over me, and anybody would be like, "Oh, this is a bad experience," and they'd probably be fearful or want to run away or like wake up from whatever visions they're having. But I was like, "No, I'm not afraid. I love you. I love you, roaches. You're beautiful. You are worthy to be here on my body," and that vision just went away, and I just continued to have a positive experience. So that was the only dark kind of thing that happened to me, just roaches crawling over me, and I got total respect for roaches. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, another thing that happened a couple times later with the medicine is knowing that throughout life, well, first with ayahuasca and throughout life, love is my sword, gratitude is my shield, and appreciation is my armor. And as long as I'm wearing those things, I can never have a negative or bad experience.
Yeah, beautiful. And so you did a facilitation course to serve.
Hmm.
Um, why? Like, what do you want people to understand, or why, or in what way do you want to work with people? And I guess it's maybe not only ayahuasca, but like, yeah, in what way do you want to serve people?
So when I joined the facilitation course, I didn't even read the website. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I was just following my heart. My heart said, do this. This is what you're attracted to. Jump into it. And I just kind of went into like a blind experience. So like I said before, when I was there, I had other priorities and other people. I really didn't care to serve medicine. We actually had like a ceremony where the participants got to serve medicine to everyone else. And it wasn't really as important to me as everyone else because at that time, that wasn't why I was there. The only reason I was there was just to follow my heart and to share my love with everyone around. And I share my love just by expressing myself genuinely, authentically. It wasn't until recently, in the past couple months, that I recognized that, yeah, this is something that I could do. That's something I may be called to do is serve medicine, help people. And my purpose for serving medicine would be just to have people experience more of life. Ayahuasca has so much to show. Ayahuasca has so much to reveal, to help you get rid of, shed off. It's a wonderful experience. I can't see how it couldn't benefit anyone.
Mm.
And because it's so easy for me, I feel like I have a opportunity to show how it could be easy for others. Like share my experience with it, my relationship, to let others know that there is no fear here. You have nothing but benefits to
Mm.
gain from working with this medicine.
And how old are you today?
This body is 27 years
Is
old.
that 27? And in these 27 years, who have been like your main teachers? Like, I mean, there's plant, but also humans, or maybe galaxies, or what, or interdimensional beings. What has been your most profound, or your, yeah, like encounters that made a dent?
I'm a stubborn child. I was a stubborn child growing up, real hard headed, didn't want to listen to anyone because what someone told me didn't have any value until I could apply it. So if I couldn't apply it, I didn't I didn't want it to occupy space in my mind. I never really chose. It was always hard for me to choose a role model when we had to talk about that in school or someone that I admire. I would often just make something up to get by when somebody asked me that. I really, the honest answer is like, I was my biggest role model. I was just fascinated with myself. It was, I guess you could call it narcissistic because for a long time I was only attracted to people that were like me because that was what I was comfortable with. But it wasn't until I got into college when I started admiring people. The first person I really admired was Percy Bysshe Shelley. He was a poet in England during the Romantic period, which is like late 1700s, early 1800s, and I just loved how he expressed love through his poetry, through his social movements, through his relationships with others. It was just really inspiring that he saw so much beauty in the world, and that really just made him a beautiful person. Like you are what you see, and it showed that he was a beautiful person, and that was just really inspiring for me. He also went against the grain. He held opinions that others didn't, and that just resonated with me so much. He didn't care what others thought. He still lived his life, even though for him it caused him a lot of grief. It was really attractive to me, and he was a very monumental person in my life. That was in 2013 when I discovered him and started reading his poetry and
Mm.
learning about his life. Percy Shelley.
And Who else? Later in your life, or here in Peru, or
Everybody, like right now where I am now, everybody is an inspiration. Like, I have this perspective that we're born we're born as a gift to the world, and if we don't express ourselves authentically, we rob the world of ourselves. Everybody is a fountain of wealth, a fountain of source, and through learning or paying attention to others, we enrich ourselves. So at this point, everybody's a role model. Everybody's like someone I look up to and admire. Everybody has their unique, beautiful expression, and that's something that I could be fascinated with if I gave it my attention for just one person forever.
and if you would give like any advice for people who are somehow on the brink of understanding that what they believe is not really who they are, but they know there is a window, but they don't know how to get out of it, or what would be your like advice for somebody who's ready to pop but doesn't really dare or knows how to or what to?
So a lot of people think that hate is the opposite of love, but it's actually fear. Because if you're fearful, you're closed up, and love is heart open. So I would tell that person, you need to get rid of some of these emotions, or you need to recognize these emotions and transcend them, like fear, guilt, resentment. Like, why am I feeling this way? And it can always go back to following your heart. If you follow your heart and do what your heart is leading you to do, you'll never end up where you don't need to be. And there's no need to fear where you'll need to be, because it's your heart's direction. And that's where you want to be.
And what are do you have any like future goals, or have you any plans like next coming years, or
Sources told me I'll be in Peru till the end of the year. Hasn't really revealed the next season yet. But I know that as long as I continue following my heart and living through love, that I'll always be where I need to be. I can make up a lot of scenarios, and these scenarios exist in potential realities. But, right, the only thing that I'm certain of is where I am now. And as long as I'm following my heart, the now will always be the perfect place.
yeah. And how do you experience life? How do you experience life or universe?
I love this question. Life is just pure love and joy for me. That's something ayahuasca like really revealed to me, that I'm a being of pure love and joy, and really everything is working together. We're all one. This rock is supporting me. I'm returning food that the earth gave me. I'm having a conversation with my brother. Everything is just working in union. Even if there was conflict, as we walked up here, there was some dogs barking. Some people would perceive that as them being vicious or wanting to attack, but because of how I view life, I didn't feel fearful at those dogs because of those dogs. I knew the love that I carried. That's all that I can do, is bring love and express myself authentically. And nothing went wrong. Even if that dog like came up to bite me, that would be something different, but it didn't. And I wouldn't be upset with the dog. It was just doing what it was led to do. It was following its heart. Like, there's no one can do anything wrong. You can regret something in the future, but in that moment, it was perfect for you because you followed your heart. That's where you were at that time. So yeah, life is perfect. Todo es perfecto.
Sí, muy bien. I see you have your pipe.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted to ask you something about it, like, what does it? Yeah, why do you smoke that pipe, and where does it come from?
Okay. So I didn't smoke before coming to Peru, but smoking what's in here, which is tobacco. There are two different types of tobacco. The one that this is comes from the jungle. It's called tobacco rustica, and
Nicotina, no?
no, nicotina
Ah,
is
that's
the
the other one.
tobacco of America,
Sorry.
the Northern America. And healers in this tradition around Peru and in the jungle, the Amazon, they call mapacho, which is tobacco rustica, the grandfather plant, because it can help you connect with all other plant spirits and energies. So they use this mapacho to connect with spirits, gain teachings, and to just receive information and communicate. So when I was in the jungle, I refused to smoke it because I didn't like the smell or whatever. It was really just a manifestation of me wanting to refuse help from people, which I got through, thankfully. And yeah, now I smoke it out of appreciation. It's not that I'm smoking it because somebody told me to or because this is the culture. I'm not smoking it because I feel bad. I smoke it because I love the spirit of this plant. Like you may see just like some little pieces of earth, but there's a spirit and an energy within it that I interact with, whether I'm smoking it or not. And when I do smoke it, it's like a relationship. I'm becoming more intimate with that spirit and energy. And that's why I smoke. The mapacho is inside of a pipe made from the wood of another plant. It's called Noya Rao, which is a tree that the Shipibos really revere. Noya Rao means the flying plant, the flying medicinal plant, and it gives illumination to those who maintain a relationship with it. And I was called to have a relationship with this wood, and that's why I have it as my pipe.
Thank you very much.
Hmm.
Thank you very much. I will leave you up to your activity of offering
To the
to
pastor.
the pastor.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much for this beautiful talk.